Hi, I'm Pam, and I'm here to talk about video games. It's time for some more suggestions of games that I think you should check out on Game Pass. If you don't already know, Game Pass is a monthly subscription service that gives you access to a large library of games. New ones are added all the time, as well as some older ones taken off. So many great new games have been added over the past few months. Here are 7 that I've played before that I think are worth checking out. These can all be played either on your console or your PC and are available as of July 2022. A very recent release, Citizen Sleeper is a narrative role-playing game about surviving interstellar capitalism and finding yourself a home. You are a sleeper, a human consciousness in an artificial body that's owned by a corporation. And you've just made an escape to a place called the Eye. While you're here, you need to avoid bounty hunters, find a way to make money to keep your body functioning, make friends, and find your place in the world. Using a number of tabletop role-playing mechanics, you need to decide how to spend your time each day. Dice rolls will dictate how successful you are at tasks, while you decide which dice to spend on each. The writing in Citizen Sleeper is wonderful, bringing the Eye to life and filling it with surprisingly deep characters who I couldn't wait to learn more about. The character art is also quite lovely, and while the game's UI took a bit of getting used to, I wound up quite enjoying its simplicity. Citizen Sleeper is an engaging and often emotional ride that I didn't want to stop playing once I started. The game lasts about 10 hours and is a great choice if you're looking for some excellent writing and player-directed storytelling. Unsighted is a top-down action game where you need to balance your desire to explore the world with the knowledge that time is limited. You wake up not really remembering who you are and soon find out that your life force, along with that of everyone you meet, is constantly ticking down. A limited item called meteor dust will sustain you or someone else for a while, but you have to use it wisely. I love games that force you to make hard choices, and deciding which characters in your story slipped away and which you wanted to save for as long as possible is just the kind of stress I like. Though if you don't like this stress, you can turn it off. Unsighted has a really slick combat style, which includes a very satisfying parry and lots of great movement abilities. Boss fights put your mastery of the controls to the test. And, importantly, the world is full of shortcuts and clever puzzles, giving you more access as you get new weapons and traversal abilities. This is the kind of game that's meant to be played more than once, as you can learn the map and get faster and save more people. Or you can just live with your first result, knowing you couldn't save everyone. Unsighted is around 10 hours long. If you like funny games, the Procession to Calvary is one that made me laugh out loud a number of times as I played. You play a soldier in a holy war, having the time of your life vanquishing your enemies. Then, the war is won, but you're not quite finished with all the murdering, so you go on one more journey to kill one last person. The visuals in this hilarious adventure game are made up entirely of Renaissance paintings, animated to do ridiculous things. There are a ton of great visual gags, and the tone of the whole thing is very absurd and Monty Python-like. This is a typical point-and-click where you'll have to find useful items, talk to characters, and solve their problems to progress. The puzzles all have clever and zany solutions, and while some can be tough, the game includes some ways to make sure you're not missing anything. If you're in the mood for a good laugh, I highly recommend the Procession to Calvary, which will take about 3 hours to finish. If you're looking for a good time with a friend, whether couch co-op or online, I have to recommend A Way Out. I just played this with a couple friends recently, and it was such a good time. You play as Vince and Leo, 2 men who meet while incarcerated and hatch a plan to escape prison. You have to take them through planning and executing the escape, avoiding being recaptured, and enacting the revenge that caused the plan in the first place. The game makes excellent use of split screen. It's not static. Sometimes one side of the screen will take more precedence than the other. Sometimes the 2 men are split up and only one will appear at a time. It's all very dynamic and cinematic. The pace of the game is also excellent, going from quiet, stealth-based escapades to QTE action scenes, driving sequences, and shootouts. There are even some mini-games like playing baseball or arcade games during downtime. As my friends and I played, we were yelling at the screen, speculating on where the story was going, and working together to make our escape a success. A Way Out lasts about 6 to 8 hours and is a great choice if you're looking for some co-op fun. A great trilogy of isometric role-playing games were just recently added to Game Pass, the Shadowrun games. Shadowrun Returns, Shadowrun Dragonfall, and Shadowrun Hong Kong. Taking place in a cyberpunk setting where you get to create your own Shadowrunner, you group up with a motley crew of characters to take on various jobs in a world run by corporations. If you love CRPGs, play all of them in order. They get better as they go. But if you only want to play one, my favorite is Hong Kong. You play as an orphan, who along with your best friend is out to find your foster father, who has disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The story takes them through locations both seedy and indulgent, filled with poisonous evils, corruption, and greed. I love the characters in this game. There's foster brother Duncan, who was previously a cop and struggles with the law-breaking required to be a Shadowrunner, and Gaichu, a blind samurai ghoul who the team is initially contracted to find and kill. Each character has their own motivations and a very enjoyable personal quest once you've gotten to know them enough by talking to them between missions. The different classes, especially Deckers who can hack into mainframes, all have diverse and fun skill sets for combat. At about 20 hours long, this is a nice concise RPG that will sate your need for character development and turn-based combat. At the start of Outer Wilds, you wake up in front of a campfire. You're from an alien race of explorers, and you're about to embark on your first flight into the solar system. After a quick tutorial, you take off in your rocket, and the world is your oyster. Pick a nearby planet to travel to and go explore. Maybe it'll be covered in ocean and waterspouts. Maybe it'll be one of the binary planets that's slowly filling up with sand. Or maybe it'll be something scarier. 22 minutes into your journey, the music will swell and a blinding light will envelop everything as the sun goes supernova. Again, you wake up in front of a campfire, about to embark on your flight. Hopefully you've learned something from the last time. The Outer Wilds exemplifies that knowledge is power and leaves the player to their own devices. To progress, you need to unlock the ecological puzzles of the planets you explore, uncover the history of a lost civilization, and learn the secrets of the universe. There's no combat, no leveling up, just a great little mind map of information you discover, which will help you progress a bit more with each 22-minute loop. If you want the thrill of discovering an entire solar system and the secrets it holds, Outer Wilds is the game for you. My first time through took me about 20 hours. Lastly, if you want some good, pulpy action, Wolfenstein The Old Blood is a great choice. This is a standalone expansion to the New Order. It follows BJ Blazkowicz as he breaks into Castle Wolfenstein to find the coordinates of a Nazi compound. While the story here isn't as robust as in New Order or New Colossus, the gameplay is very satisfying. Shoot some Nazis, shoot some zombies, shoot some Nazi zombies. What more could you want? The variety of weapons in the game all play very differently, and the stealth segments are a lot of fun as well. I really liked the supernatural elements in the game, and it's a short, intense romp at about 6 hours long. So those are 7 great games I think you should check out on Game Pass this summer. There's a lot of great storytelling and role-playing, but also action, humor, and exploration. Hopefully you found something you want to check out here. Until next time. If you want to see more, check out my last batch of Game Pass recommendations, or another of my videos. I have a Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.